Hello, how are you feeling today? And before you give me the answer, you usually give everyone else. I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm just tired. I want you to stay with that question for another moment. How do you really feel? Not what happened today, not what someone said to you, not what you think you ought to feel. What is actually moving inside you right now? Perhaps there is sadness somewhere beneath the surface. Perhaps irritation, perhaps loneliness, perhaps nothing at all. And you know what? Even nothing is worth noticing. Sometimes we have lived for so long disconnected from our feelings that when someone finally asks us how we feel, we simply don't know. We know what we have to do. We know who needs us. We know what must be finished before the end of the day. But when it comes to our own inner world, there can be this strange silence. And that silence does not mean there is something wrong with you. It may simply mean that somewhere along the way, you learned that feeling was not safe. Think about that for a moment. What happened when you were sad as a child? Were you comforted? Or were you told, "Stop crying"? What happened when you were angry? Were you allowed to say, "That hurt me"? Or were you called difficult, dramatic, selfish, too sensitive? And what happened when you were frightened? Did someone sit beside you and help you feel safe? Or were you expected to get over it quickly? You see, children are wonderful students. They study the faces, voices, moods, and reactions of the adults around them, and they learn very quickly what is welcome and what is not. If tears bring criticism, the child learns to hide the tears. If anger causes rejection, the child learns to swallow anger. If fear makes other people uncomfortable, the child learns to smile while being afraid. We become very clever at surviving the emotional rules of the homes we grow up in, and often we carry those rules into adulthood without ever realizing that they were rules at all. So perhaps you became the strong one. Oh, many women know this role very well. The one who keeps going, the one who takes care of everyone, the one who does not fall apart because there is always something that needs to be done. And for a while, not feeling too much may actually help you function. If life is overwhelming and you do not yet have the safety, support, or understanding to deal with what you are carrying, your mind may simply say, "We cannot deal with this right now." And that can be protective. It can help you get through a difficult season. So I don't want you to criticize yourself for becoming numb. Please don't turn healing into another reason to attack yourself. You did what you knew how to do. You protected yourself in the best way you could at the time. Isn't that worth a little compassion? But here is the interesting thing about protection. Sometimes the door that keeps pain out also keeps joy out. If you close yourself tightly enough so that grief cannot enter, eventually tenderness has trouble entering too. If you refuse to feel disappointment, you may also begin to lose touch with excitement. You may notice that people love you, and yet somehow you cannot quite receive it. Something good happens, and instead of enjoying it, you immediately move on to the next task. Someone hugs you, and part of you stays somewhere far away. You laugh, but the laughter does not reach very deeply. And perhaps you wonder, why can't I feel the way I used to? Well, sweetheart, maybe your feelings never disappeared. Maybe you simply became very practiced at standing far away from them. Now, when I suggest that you begin coming closer to your feelings again, another fear may appear. It often sounds something like this. If I start crying, I may never stop. Have you ever thought that? Or perhaps, If I let myself become angry, I might lose control. If I really feel the grief, it will swallow me. If I open that door, everything I have held back for years will come rushing through. We imagine emotion as an enormous flood behind a tiny door, and we become terrified that if the door opens even 1 inch, the whole house will be washed away. So we tighten ourselves again. We distract ourselves. We stay busy. We eat when we are not hungry. We scroll. We clean. We work. We take care of other people. We analyze. Anything but feel. And yet, notice something. The feeling is already there. Avoiding it does not necessarily remove it. Sometimes it simply means we spend tremendous energy holding it down. Imagine carrying a heavy suitcase everywhere you go and becoming so accustomed to its weight that you forget you are carrying it. You can still go to work. You can make dinner. You can answer the phone. You can smile. But somewhere in you, there is always effort. Emotional suppression can feel like control because nothing is visibly spilling over, but control and peace are not the same thing. Peace says, I can allow this feeling to be here, and I can remain with myself while it moves through me. That is very different. So let us try a new thought together, not an enormous one. We do not need to force anything, just this. I can feel deeply and still remain safe with myself. Say it quietly. I can feel deeply and still remain safe with myself. How does that feel when you say it? Does part of you resist it? That's all right. Perhaps you can soften it. I am willing to learn that it is safe to feel. You see, willingness is enough to begin. You do not need to tear open every old wound today. You do not need to remember everything. You do not need to cry for 3 hours to prove that you are healing. We are simply teaching the nervous, frightened part of you something new. A feeling can arrive and you can stay. A feeling can rise and you can breathe. A feeling can move through your body and you do not have to abandon yourself. And this brings us to something I think is enormously important. A feeling is not the same thing as the story your mind tells about the feeling. Suppose you feel sadness. The feeling may simply be, I am sad. Perhaps you notice heaviness in your chest. Perhaps your throat tightens. Perhaps tears come. That is the emotion. But almost immediately, the mind may begin telling a story. Nobody really loves me. I will always be alone. Something is wrong with me. This always happens to me. Now we have moved from feeling into interpretation. Can you see the difference? Sadness is present, but I will always be alone is a thought about sadness. And thoughts, as I have said so many times, can be changed. The same thing happens with anger. Anger may say, something hurt, something crossed my boundary, something here does not feel right. But the mind may add, no one respects me. People always take advantage of me. I can never trust anyone. And suddenly, one emotional moment becomes a prediction about your entire life. Or fear appears, and instead of simply noticing, I feel afraid, we tell ourselves, something terrible is going to happen. My dear, you are allowed to feel an emotion without signing every contract your frightened mind puts in front of you. Isn't that a relief? Try this the next time something rises inside you. Instead of immediately asking, what does this mean? Ask, what am I feeling? Stay simple. I feel disappointed. I feel lonely. I feel angry. I feel afraid. And then notice where you feel it. Is it in your chest, your stomach, your jaw, your shoulders? Just notice. No criticism, no fixing yet, no enormous psychological investigation. You might even place your hand gently over that part of your body and say, I see you. You are allowed to be here. Oh, what a different relationship this creates inside us. We are no longer treating our feelings like troublesome children who must be sent away. We are beginning to listen. And remember, listening does not mean obeying every feeling. If I am angry, I do not have to hurt someone. If I am afraid, I do not have to run away from every opportunity. If I am lonely, I do not have to return to a relationship that was harmful to me. Feeling gives us information. It does not take away our wisdom. I can feel anger and choose kindness. I can feel fear and still take one loving step forward. I can feel sadness and know that sadness is not my permanent identity. This is emotional freedom, not never feeling difficult things, but knowing that feelings can move without controlling your entire life. Perhaps this is a new relationship for you. Perhaps nobody ever taught you how to sit beside your own sadness without trying to make it disappear. Perhaps nobody showed you how to let anger speak without letting anger run the house. Perhaps nobody taught you that fear sometimes needs reassurance rather than criticism. Well, we can learn now. We are always learning. We are always capable of a new response. And you do not have to become an expert today. A little more awareness, a little more kindness, a little more willingness, that is enough. So today, if a feeling appears, see whether you can resist the old impulse to immediately push it away or turn it into a frightening story. Just pause and say, this is what I feel right now, and I am still here, right now, not forever, right now. Feelings move, bodies change, thoughts change, moments change. And as you become less frightened of what you feel, you may discover something beautiful. Your inner world was never your enemy. It was trying to communicate with you. And this is only the beginning, because once you are willing to feel, the next question becomes, how do you actually love the feelings you have spent years rejecting? How do you welcome sadness without drowning in it? Give anger a healthy voice, comfort fear, and allow joy to return without waiting for something bad to happen. There are gentle ways to do this. There are small steps that can teach your body, your mind, and your heart that it is safe to come home to yourself again. And that is where we are going next. This is where the healing begins. Not when every feeling has disappeared. Not when you have finally figured yourself out. Not when you become so positive that sadness never visits you again. Healing begins the moment you are willing to turn toward yourself and say, all right, sweetheart, what am I actually feeling? You see, many of us have become very good at saying, I feel bad. We say, I'm upset, I'm stressed, I'm having a terrible day. But those words can cover an enormous amount of emotional territory. Are you sad? Are you disappointed? Are you lonely? Are you embarrassed? Are you jealous? Are you frightened? Are you hurt because someone did not respond in the way you hoped? Are you exhausted and calling it anger? There is a great tenderness in becoming specific. When you can say, I feel disappointed. Something that was floating around like a dark cloud suddenly has a shape. You can look at it. You can be with it. What we can gently name, we can begin to understand. And notice how I said that. I feel disappointed. I did not say, I am a disappointment. Oh, there is such a difference. A feeling is something you are experiencing. It is not who you are. I am feeling angry is very different from I am an angry person. I am experiencing loneliness is very different from I am alone and nobody will ever love me. Language matters because your mind is always listening to you. When you turn a temporary emotional state into an identity, you give it a permanent address. So begin to catch yourself. If you hear yourself say, I'm just an anxious person, perhaps change it gently. I am noticing anxiety today. If you say, I'm so bitter, try. There is some bitterness here that wants my attention. Isn't that kinder? You are no longer sentencing yourself. You are observing yourself. Now, once you know what you are feeling, the next temptation is to decide whether you are allowed to feel it. We do this constantly. I shouldn't be jealous. I shouldn't be angry. I ought to be grateful. Other people have it worse. Why am I still sad about this? And suddenly we have two pains, the original feeling and the criticism we place on top of it. My dear, an emotion is not a moral grade. Feeling jealousy does not make you a bad person. Feeling anger does not make you cruel. Feeling fear does not make you weak. A feeling is information moving through you. What you choose to do with it is another matter entirely. So let us stop sorting every feeling into the boxes marked good and bad. Perhaps we can use different words: comfortable, uncomfortable, pleasant, painful, energizing, heavy, but not good person, bad person. Do you see the difference? You can be a loving person and feel anger. You can be a generous person and feel envy. You can be spiritually aware and still wake up some mornings feeling miserable. You are human before you are perfect, and you were never asked to be perfect anyway. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is allow the body to have its natural response. Maybe tears come. Let them come. Perhaps you need to sit quietly instead of explaining yourself to everyone. Perhaps you need an early night. Perhaps you need to put a hand over your heart and acknowledge that really hurt. We have been so trained to immediately fix ourselves that simple permission can feel almost revolutionary. So say this with me: it is safe for me to feel what I feel. And again, it is safe for me to feel what I feel. Notice what happens inside you. Perhaps your shoulders soften. Perhaps nothing happens. Perhaps another part says, no, it isn't safe. That is all right too. You do not have to fight that response. You can say, I am willing to learn that it can be safe for me to feel. And now I want you to do something very simple. When a feeling comes, instead of rushing immediately into the story about why it is there, ask, where do I feel this in my body? Where is it? Is there pressure in your chest? Tightness in your throat? A hollow feeling in the stomach? Heat in the face? Tension behind the eyes? Weight across the shoulders? Do not make it complicated. Just become curious. Oh, there is a tightness here. There is warmth here. There is heaviness here. There is a trembling feeling here. You see, the body often knows there is an emotion before the thinking mind has found the words for it. You walk into a room and your stomach tightens. Someone says something and your jaw suddenly clenches. You read a message and your chest drops before you have even decided what you think about it. So instead of immediately analyzing, spend a minute with the physical sensation itself. Is it sharp or dull? Moving or still? Warm or cold? large or small? Does it change when you breathe? You are not diagnosing yourself. You are simply witnessing. And this is very important. You do not have to know why immediately. We have an extraordinary habit of turning every feeling into a detective story. Why am I feeling this? Is it because of my mother? Is this from 10 years ago? Is this my childhood? Is this because of what he said? What does this mean? Darling, sometimes you are simply tired. Sometimes you have had too much stimulation. Sometimes you have been around people all day and need quiet. Sometimes your body needs food, sleep, water, movement, or rest. Every uncomfortable emotion does not require a 20-year excavation project. What if instead of asking, "Where did this come from?" every single time you asked, "What does this feeling need from me now?" That question is so much kinder, and different feelings may answer differently. Sadness may say, "Please don't fix me. Sit with me." Sometimes sadness wants comfort more than advice. Have you noticed how quickly people try to talk us out of sadness? Look on the bright side. Everything happens for a reason. At least. Oh, sometimes the heart does not need an at least. Sometimes it needs someone to say, "Yes, that was painful." And if nobody else can say it to you, perhaps you can. Put your hand on your heart and say, "I know, darling. I know this hurts. I am here." Anger may need something completely different. Anger sometimes says, "A boundary has been crossed. Something matters to me. I have been saying yes when I wanted to say no." Anger is not automatically a command to shout. It may simply be a messenger asking you to protect something important. So ask it, "What are you trying to show me?" Maybe the answer is, "I need to speak up." Maybe it is, "I need to stop agreeing to this." Maybe it is, "I need some distance." You can honor the information without using the emotion as a weapon. And what about jealousy? Oh, we judge jealousy so quickly. Yet jealousy can be remarkably revealing if you stop shaming yourself for it. Suppose you see someone doing work she loves and you feel that little sting. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible for being jealous," ask, "What is this showing me that I want?" Perhaps you want more creative freedom. Perhaps you want recognition. Perhaps you want companionship. Perhaps you want the courage to try something new. Sometimes jealousy is simply desire wearing an uncomfortable costume. Once you understand the desire, you can begin working with it. Shame is another one. Shame whispers, "There is something fundamentally wrong with you." And because it speaks so quietly and so deeply, we often believe it. But sweetheart, not everything you feel ashamed about proves that you did something wrong. Sometimes you were shamed for being emotional, for being outspoken, for being sexual, for getting older, for wanting more, for needing help, for changing your mind, for leaving, for staying too long, for not being the person someone else wanted you to be. So when shame appears, do not automatically bow down before it. Ask, whose standard am I judging myself by? Is this actually mine? Perhaps what shame needs most is compassion. You see how different this becomes? We stop asking, "How do I get rid of this feeling?" and begin asking, "What is this feeling trying to communicate?" That is a completely different relationship with yourself. But now I want to warn you about another little trap. Once people discover emotional healing, sometimes they begin processing themselves all day long. Every thought becomes a clue. Every mood needs analysis. Every uncomfortable moment becomes a healing assignment. Oh, that can become exhausting too. You do not need to turn yourself into a full-time psychological project. Understanding is useful. Rumination is not the same thing as understanding. Understanding brings some clarity and then allows you to move forward. Rumination goes round and round and round the same room looking for a door it has already passed 5 times. Have you ever done that? Why did she say that? What did she really mean? What should I have said? Maybe if I had done this. Hours later, nothing has changed except that you are more tired. So perhaps give yourself a new stopping point. Once you have enough information to care for yourself, you may return to life. You can say, I understand that I am hurt. I understand what I need. I do not need to keep thinking about this for the next 6 hours. Healing is not measured by how long you can stare at your wound. And speaking of wounds, we often use the phrase letting go. I use it too. But letting go does not mean ordering yourself to stop feeling before the feeling has even been acknowledged. That is not release. That is another form of pushing away. If you say, I forgive, I release, everything is fine, while your whole body is still saying, I am hurt, perhaps the loving thing is to acknowledge the hurt first. Release has a natural rhythm. First, something is recognized. Then perhaps it is felt. Perhaps it is understood. Perhaps it is expressed. And eventually, the grip may begin to loosen. You cannot pull open a clenched hand by yelling at it to relax. But when the hand knows it is safe, it can slowly open. And we also want to be careful not to build our whole identity around what hurt us. Yes, what happened mattered. Yes, perhaps it changed you. Yes, perhaps you need time. But an experience can be significant without becoming your permanent definition. You can say, I went through betrayal, without saying, I am a betrayed person forever. You can have survived abandonment without arranging the rest of your life around the expectation that everyone will abandon you. The past may explain some of your patterns, but it does not have to become the title of your future. Try this affirmation. I am willing to release what I no longer need to carry. Notice that beautiful word willing. You do not have to force release. You simply become willing. I am willing to loosen this. I am willing to stop telling this story in the same way. I am willing to discover who I am without this pain in the center of everything. That is enough for now. And sometimes writing can help tremendously because writing gives emotions somewhere to go besides circling in your mind. One simple practice is emotional journaling. 3 little questions. What happened? What did I feel? What did I need? That's it. Suppose someone canceled plans at the last moment. What happened? She canceled dinner. What did I feel? Disappointed and unimportant. What did I need? Consideration and reassurance. Already you are clearer. Notice how different that is from writing 3 pages about how nobody respects you. Another practice is what I like to think of as emptying the mental drawer. Just write everything. Do not make it beautiful. Do not correct the grammar. Do not try to sound spiritually evolved. I'm angry. I'm tired. I hate that this happened. I wish she had called. I don't understand. I don't want to deal with this. Let it be messy. Paper will survive your feelings. You do not have to publish it. You do not even have to reread it. And sometimes there are words you never had the chance to say. Then write the letter you will never send. Say exactly what you felt. Say what you needed. Say what you wish had been different. Say what you are no longer willing to carry. The purpose is not to convince the other person. They may never see it. The purpose is to stop making your own heart swallow every unfinished sentence. If you do not know where to begin, use sentence endings. They are wonderful because they gently take you beneath the surface. Right. Right now I feel. And keep going until the first automatic answer passes. Then, what hurts most is, oh, that one can be revealing. Sometimes what hurts most is not the event itself. It is what the event seemed to say about you. Then, what I wish I had received was perhaps respect, protection, an apology, warmth, encouragement, someone to believe you, someone to stay. And finally, what I can give myself now is, now we come back to power, not control over another person, power within yourself. Maybe you can give yourself rest, a boundary, permission, truth, a loving conversation, a therapist, a walk, a quiet evening, a different choice next time. And you know, some feelings do not need to be solved at all. This is especially true of grief. If you have lost someone you love, there may not be an insight that makes the loss reasonable. If a chapter of your life has ended, perhaps the sadness is not a problem to solve. It may simply be love meeting absence. We are sometimes in such a hurry to turn pain into wisdom. What did I learn? What was the purpose? How will this make me stronger? Maybe later. But sometimes the first healing sentence is simply, this really hurts. Can you allow that? This hurts, and I do not have to make it beautiful today. There is enormous companionship in saying that to yourself. I will not abandon myself while I am hurting. Say that slowly. I will not abandon myself while I am hurting. Other people may not understand. Someone may disappoint you. Someone may leave. Life may change unexpectedly. But you do not have to join the people who abandoned you by abandoning yourself too. And then, as feelings become safer inside you, you can learn to express them more clearly outside you. Remember, feeling does not mean acting on every impulse. Anger is allowed. Cruelty is not required. Hurt is allowed. Punishment is not required. Fear is allowed. Controlling another person is not required. Instead of storing emotion until it explodes, practice expressing it while it is still small enough to speak clearly. You might say, when that happened, I felt hurt. What I need is more honesty. Or, when plans change without warning, I feel unsettled. Could you tell me earlier next time? That is very different from, you never care about me. One describes your experience. The other attacks identity. This takes practice. Of course it does. Everything new takes practice. So why don't we make it very simple and give ourselves 3 weeks? During the first week, do nothing dramatic, just identify. At the end of each day, name 3 feelings you experienced, not 3 stories, 3 emotions. Content: irritated, lonely, excited, nervous, relieved. You are simply learning your emotional vocabulary. You may be surprised at how many feelings move through one ordinary day. During the second week, choose 1 feeling each day and spend a few minutes noticing it in your body. Do not solve it. Where is it? What does it feel like physically? Does it change when you breathe? Can you stay with it for 30 seconds longer than you normally would? We are teaching the body. I can experience an emotion without running away from myself. And during the third week, practice healthy expression. Write something you have not admitted. Tell someone calmly how you feel. Ask for what you need. Say no where you have been saying resentful yeses. Cry if tears come. Speak kindly but truthfully. Your purpose is not emotional drama. Your purpose is congruence, allowing what happens inside you to have an honest, responsible way of moving outward. And how will you know this is working? Perhaps not because you suddenly feel wonderful all the time. That is not the goal. You may notice something much quieter. You recognize irritation before it becomes rage. You notice exhaustion before you collapse. You recognize loneliness before you begin chasing somebody for reassurance. You can say, "I am hurt," without immediately becoming ashamed of being hurt. A difficult feeling arrives, but it no longer steals the entire day. You recover. You understand what you need sooner. You stop expecting other people to guess everything. You begin trusting the signals inside yourself again. That is healing. And perhaps one day something difficult happens and you notice yourself doing something completely new. Instead of saying, "Why am I like this?" you say, "Oh, I'm hurting. What do I need?" Instead of criticizing the tears, you get a tissue. Instead of sending the angry message immediately, you wait until your body settles. Instead of interpreting jealousy as proof that you are terrible, you become curious about what you desire. Instead of carrying shame for 3 days, you ask whether the shame even belongs to you. And you may smile and think, "Oh, look at me. I stayed with myself. Isn't that wonderful?" Your feelings were never asking to become your home. They were asking for permission to pass through. Sadness wants to move. Anger wants to communicate. Fear wants reassurance. Grief wants companionship. Joy wants room. Feelings become stuck when we fight them, shame them, cling to them, or turn them into identities. So we do something gentler now. We do not run from them. We come close enough to listen. We do not build our identity around them. We remain free enough to let them change. And before we finish, let us say these words together. Slowly, let each one land where it needs to land. I allow myself to feel. And again, I allow myself to feel. My feelings are welcome, but they do not define me. I listen to what my emotions are teaching me. I give myself the compassion I once needed from others. I am willing to feel, understand, and gently release. And perhaps one final one. Whatever I feel, I remain on my own side. You see, healing does not mean that you will never again be sad. It does not mean that anger will disappear, fear will never return, or nobody will ever hurt you again. Life moves. Relationships change. People disappoint us. We lose things we love. We also discover new things, new people, new strength, new tenderness, new parts of ourselves. The difference is that you no longer have to disappear from yourself whenever life becomes uncomfortable. You can be sad and stay. You can be frightened and stay. You can be disappointed and stay. You can be angry and stay. You can cry and stay. You can not know what comes next and still stay lovingly beside yourself. Healing is when you no longer have to abandon yourself every time a difficult feeling appears. And little by little, something beautiful happens. The feelings you once feared begin to become a language you understand. Your body becomes less like a battlefield and more like a trusted companion. You begin hearing yourself sooner. You begin responding more lovingly. You discover that you can hold sorrow without becoming sorrow, feel anger without becoming anger, and experience fear without handing fear the keys to your life. And that, my dear, is freedom. Not the freedom from feeling, the freedom to feel and still be fully, lovingly, safely yourself. This video is not random, my dear. If you have found your way here, perhaps some tender part of you is tired. Perhaps your mind has been heavy lately, your heart a little empty, your body asking for rest in ways you have not fully listened to. Perhaps life has felt like one responsibility after another, and even when something good happens, you are too exhausted to receive it. So let us not begin by forcing happiness. Let us begin with something much gentler. Let us begin with the breath you are taking right now. Before we speak about what is missing, before we think about what has not happened yet, before we remember the people who hurt us or the dreams that feel delayed, let us notice this simple truth. You are still here. You are breathing. Life has not finished speaking to you. There is still a little doorway called today. There is still one more chance to soften, to listen, to begin again in a kinder way. My dear, gratitude does not ask you to pretend life is perfect. It simply asks you to notice that life is still holding you. This is what these minutes are for. Not to make you deny your pain, not to tell you that everything has been easy, not to cover a wound with pretty words. Gratitude is not pretending. Gratitude is a soft lamp we bring into a room that has been dark for too long. It does not erase everything in the room, but it helps us see that the room is not only darkness. There may be a chair to rest in, a window, a flower, a breath, a small piece of hope that pain has not been able to destroy. When the heart has been hurt, it can begin to close. It may stop expecting good. It may become trained to look for what is wrong, what is missing, what might be taken away. The mind may say, I am only protecting you. And yes, perhaps it is trying. But when we live only in protection, we forget how to receive. Gratitude gently says, look again. There is still something here. Maybe it is small, but small things can be holy. The warmth of a blanket, a glass of water, a body that has carried you through more than you know, a morning light touching the wall, a chance to choose a kinder thought. Gratitude is a soft medicine for the heart and mind. It helps the mind move from I have nothing to something is supporting me now. It helps the body come out of the constant feeling of fight and defense. When you truly feel thankful, even for one breath, the shoulders may soften a little, the jaw may release, the heart may stop gripping quite so tightly. The whole being receives a message. There is good here too. Gratitude is the moment my heart remembers it is not alone. And yes, the body responds to this. When you feel gratitude, the body often begins to create a warmer inner chemistry. The mind may feel a little more hopeful. The heart may feel less alone. The nervous system may feel less like it has to guard every door. I like to think of gratitude as a language the body understands very well. When you say thank you, with your whole heart, not mechanically, not to be good, but sincerely, the body hears, I am safe enough to notice what is good. This is why gratitude is not empty positive thinking. Empty positive thinking says, nothing hurts. Gratitude says, something hurts, and still there is support. Empty positive thinking says, do not feel sad. Gratitude says, I can feel sad and still notice the hand of life holding me in small ways. That is much kinder. That is much more honest. And healing loves honesty. When we are under stress, the mind often lives as if danger is everywhere. It scans. It reacts quickly. It imagines what could go wrong. It has trouble resting because it thinks resting might make us vulnerable. You may know this feeling. The body is sitting still, but the mind is running. The day is quiet, but inside there is an alarm. Gratitude can help turn down that alarm. It gives the mind one peaceful object to hold. It says, not everything is a threat. This moment also contains care. You cannot be deeply grateful and completely swallowed by fear in the exact same instant. Fear may still be near. Of course it may, but gratitude creates a little space around it, a little breathing room. You may say, I am afraid, and I am grateful for this breath. Or, I am uncertain, and I am grateful that I am not alone inside myself. Or, I am tired, and I am grateful that I can rest for a moment. This is not weakness. This is how we teach the nervous system that life is not only danger, life also brings nourishment. Say softly, I allow gratitude to calm my mind and soften my body. Do not rush the words. Let the body hear them. I allow gratitude to calm my mind and soften my body. Perhaps nothing dramatic happens. That is all right. Healing often enters quietly. Maybe the breath becomes a little deeper. Maybe the face softens. Maybe the heart feels one small moment of relief. Let that be enough. Everything begins in the heart. Many people think, if I had more money, more success, more attention, more recognition, more love from someone else, then I would feel full. And sometimes outer good does bring comfort. Money can help. Love can bless us. Success can open doors. But if the heart is closed, if the mind is filled with resentment, comparison, self-blame, and bitterness, then even good things may not feel like enough. The cup may be full on the outside, but the soul still feels thirsty. True wealth begins when the heart can recognize good. A grateful heart is already rich before anything new arrives. It may not have everything it desires yet, but it has begun to receive life again. It sees the meal, the breath, the friendship, the lesson, the mourning, the strength that remained after difficulty. Hatred keeps energy tied to the past. Gratitude brings energy back to the present. It says, I am here now. I will not give all of my life force to what has already hurt me. Now, let us speak tenderly about pain. I do not ask you to be grateful for someone hurting you. I do not ask you to bless cruelty or pretend the wound was not real. That would not be love. But perhaps you can be grateful for the strength that carried you through. Perhaps you can be grateful for the wisdom that came afterward. Perhaps you can be grateful for the part of you that did not give up, even when it was tired. I do not bless the pain. I bless the strength that carried me through it. Pain may take away innocence, but it can also awaken compassion. It can teach boundaries. It can show us where we abandoned ourselves. It can make us deeper, softer in the right places, stronger in the right places. Gratitude does not make the past disappear, but it takes your power back from the past. It says, "This happened, but it will not own all of me. I have learned, I have grown, I am still here." And if you are in a waiting season now, let gratitude sit with you there too. Waiting can make the mind feel forgotten. It may say, "Why not yet? Why not me? Why is life delaying what I desire?" But sometimes life is not refusing you. Sometimes life is preparing you. The delay may be making you clearer, stronger, more able to receive what you once prayed for, more loving toward yourself, more honest about what you truly want. Being grateful while you wait does not mean you stop desiring. It means you do not let waiting steal your peace. You can want something deeply and still say, "Thank you for what is here now." You can long for the next door and still bless the room you are standing in. I am grateful even in the waiting because life is still working for me. So breathe now, my dear. Let gratitude be very simple. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this heart. Thank you for the strength that carried me. Thank you for the good I can see and the good that is still finding its way to me. I am here. Life is holding me. And for this moment, that is enough. Let us become very quiet for a moment, my dear, and let gratitude come to us like warm water over tired hands. You do not have to make yourself feel anything. You do not have to be cheerful. You do not have to become suddenly bright or spiritual or perfect. Just let your shoulders drop a little. Let the jaw soften. Let the tongue rest in the mouth. Place one hand over your heart or over your belly if that feels kinder today. Take a slow breath in, and as you breathe out, imagine that every word of gratitude is not something you must perform, but something that gently waters the dry places inside you. We are not rushing. We are not forcing the heart to open. We are simply sitting with it and saying, "Dear heart, perhaps there is still good here. Perhaps life has been holding me in ways I forgot to notice." And now, very softly, let us begin with the body. Thank you, my body, for carrying me through this life. Say it slowly, as though you are speaking to an old friend who has never left you. This body has breathed for you when you were not paying attention. It has risen from beds, walked through rooms, held tears, swallowed words, endured pressure, and still tried to heal. Perhaps you have judged it. Perhaps you have looked at it in the mirror and only noticed what you thought was wrong. Perhaps you have pushed it when it was tired, criticized it when it changed, ignored it when it whispered, and only listened when it had to shout. And still, here it is, still breathing, still carrying you, still doing its best to bring you into another day. So place your hand somewhere on the body and say, "Thank you. I am learning to be kinder to you now." Let the body receive that. It may not believe you all at once. That is all right. Love can begin as a small apology. Love can begin as one kind sentence. "Dear body, thank you for staying with me." Now let your hand remain on the heart and say, "Thank you, my heart, for still being able to love." This is a beautiful thing, my dear. After all the disappointments, all the endings, all the moments when you were misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, or tired of hoping, something in you still knows how to soften. Perhaps not all the time, perhaps carefully, perhaps with a little trembling, but the ability is still there. Your heart has been hurt, yes, but it has not become stone. It may have closed for protection. It may have built little doors and little locks. It may have said, I will not open again until I am sure. We can understand that. But today, we thank the heart not for being fearless, but for still having the capacity to feel, to care, to receive tenderness, to bless a small good thing, to recognize warmth when it arrives. Thank you, my heart, for not giving up on love completely. You do not need to open all at once, just enough to let one drop of gratitude in. That is enough for this moment. And now we turn toward the mind with compassion. Thank you, my mind, for trying to protect me. This may feel strange because perhaps the mind has been noisy. Perhaps it has worried too much, repeated old conversations, imagined painful endings, compared you to others, or kept you awake when the body needed sleep. But even the anxious mind is often trying, in its own confused way, to keep you safe. It says, let me think of every possible danger so we will not be surprised. It says, let me replay this so we can understand. It says, let me prepare for rejection so it will hurt less. We do not have to obey every anxious thought, but we can understand the frightened love beneath it. So we say, thank you, mind. You have tried to protect me. Now I will teach you peace. We do not need to punish the mind. We guide it gently. We give it new words, soft words, loving words. Dear mind, you may rest now. Life is helping us learn a calmer way. Now let us breathe into the past, not to live there, but to take our power back from it. Thank you, my past, for teaching me what I no longer choose. We do not say this because everything in the past was good. We do not bless what wounded us as if it did not matter. We do not pretend pain was beautiful when it was painful. But we can take the lesson. We can say, I see now. I see what I no longer want to repeat. I see where I left myself. I see where I gave too much, stayed too long, silenced my truth, or accepted less than my heart needed. The past does not have to own the present. It can become a teacher and then step back. It can say, this is what you learned, now go forward with more wisdom. Perhaps some memories still ache. Hold them gently. You do not need to force forgiveness today. Just say, I am willing to let the past become a lesson instead of a prison. My past taught me, but it does not have to lead me anymore. And now, with a soft breath, say, thank you, every closed door, for redirecting me. Oh, this one may be tender. Some closed doors felt like rejection. Some felt unfair. Some made you cry. Some made you question your worth. Some made you say, why not me? But sometimes a closed door is life placing a hand on your shoulder and saying, not this way, darling. Sometimes what did not happen protected you from a path too small for your spirit. Sometimes the person who left had completed their part in your story. Sometimes the opportunity that did not open would have taken more from you than it gave. We do not always see this immediately. The heart may need time, but today, perhaps we can leave a little room for the idea that life has redirected us with love more than once. Thank you, life, for the doors that closed because they were not truly mine. Something in me is being guided, even when I do not understand the timing. Now let us become very simple, very ordinary, very present. Say, thank you, every small blessing I once overlooked. Thank you for the meal that nourished me when I was too distracted to notice. Thank you for the bed that held me through the night. Thank you for the chair beneath me, the water I drink, the air that enters my lungs, the quiet morning, the kind stranger, the message that arrived at the right time, the soft blanket, the clean towel, the light through the window, the moment when nothing terrible was happening and I forgot that peace was present. The small blessings are not small to the heart. They are little ways life says, I am here too. Pain can make our eyes narrow. We begin to see only what is wrong. Gratitude widens the eyes again. It says, look, dear one, not everything is missing. I bless the simple good that has been waiting for my attention. And now, bring your awareness to the part of you that kept going. Say, thank you, my courage, for staying even when I wanted to give up. You have carried things that not everyone has seen. You have walked through days when your smile was tired. You have answered life when your heart wanted to hide. You have begun again after disappointment. You have rested and then returned. You have cried and then breathed. You have not always known how, but somehow you came to this moment. That is courage. Not always loud, not always heroic in a way others can applaud. Sometimes courage is getting through the afternoon. Sometimes courage is not sending the message. Sometimes courage is going to sleep instead of hurting yourself with more thoughts. Sometimes courage is saying, I am still here. So thank your courage. It may be weary, but it is real. Dear courage, I see you. You have brought me farther than I realized. Now say, thank you, life, for giving me another chance to begin again. Every morning is a kind of invitation, not a demand for perfection, not a test of whether you have healed enough, just an invitation. Would you like to choose again today? Maybe yesterday was messy. Maybe you worried too much, reacted too quickly, judged yourself too harshly, or forgot to be grateful. That is all right. Life still offers another breath, another sunrise, another chance to say one kind word, another chance to drink water, open a window, soften your face, bless your body, choose peace before reaction. You do not need to repair your whole life in one day. You can begin with this moment. Thank you, life, for meeting me again. Even when I am still learning, there is such love in beginning again. Now let us thank love itself. Thank you, love, for finding me in simple ways. Love does not always arrive as a grand romance or a dramatic rescue. Sometimes love comes as sunlight on your face. Sometimes as a friend who remembers you. Sometimes as a small kindness from someone you barely know. Sometimes as the body healing a little while you sleep. Sometimes as a song that touches the heart. Sometimes as a little strength you did not think you had. Sometimes love comes as the courage to say no. Sometimes love comes as rest. Sometimes love comes as a quiet thought. I deserve tenderness. Do not make love too narrow, my dear. If you only look for it in one form, you may miss the many forms in which life has been loving you all along. Love is here in simple ways, and I am willing to notice. And now, very gently, say, thank you, universe, for supporting me in ways I can and cannot see. Not all support is loud. Not all blessings announce themselves. Some blessings are hidden in timing. Some are hidden in delays. Some are hidden in what did not happen. Some are hidden in the person you did not meet, the road you did not take, the answer that did not come until you were ready to receive it. There are quiet protections, quiet rearrangements, quiet openings. Life may be doing more for you than your worried mind can measure. So today, let us trust a little more. Let us say, thank you for what I see, and thank you for what is still unseen. Thank you for the help that arrives in visible and invisible ways. Thank you for guiding me, even when I do not yet understand the path. I am supported by life in ways known and unknown. Now take a slow breath. Feel all 10 thank yous resting in the body. Thank you, my body. Thank you, my heart. Thank you, my mind. Thank you, my past. Thank you, every closed door. Thank you, every small blessing. Thank you, my courage. Thank you, life. Thank you, love. Thank you, universe. Let them not be a list, but a circle of tenderness around you. A circle that says, you have not been alone. Even in difficult seasons, something has been carrying you. Even when you did not notice, life was offering little pieces of support. You may want to whisper now, I am willing to see the good. Not all the good at once, just one piece, one small blessing, one memory of strength, one sign that your heart is still alive. Gratitude grows when we give it a little attention. And as it grows, the heart becomes less defended. The mind becomes less trapped in lack. The body learns that it can soften. This is healing, my dear. Not forced joy, not pretending, just the slow return of the heart to the truth that life still gives. If tears come, let them come. Tears do not mean you are ungrateful. Sometimes tears are the way gratitude enters a heart that has been holding too much. Sometimes the first feeling is grief, because you realize how long you have been trying to survive without noticing how much support was here. Let the tears wash the inner windows. Let them make room for softness. You are safe with yourself now. Say softly, gratitude is teaching my heart how to receive again. Let that be enough. You do not need to become joyful immediately. You do not need to finish this moment feeling transformed. A little opening is precious. A small softening is precious. One honest thank you is precious. And if you would like, before you sleep tonight, choose just one of these thank yous. Not all 10, just one. Maybe your body needs to hear, thank you for carrying me. Maybe your heart needs to hear, thank you for still being able to love. Maybe your courage needs to hear, I see how much you carried today. Speak it slowly. Let it become a small prayer, a small medicine, a small return. My dear, gratitude does not ask you to deny what has hurt you. It asks you not to forget what has helped you. It asks you not to let pain become the only story. It asks you to notice that breath is still here, love still appears, courage still remains, and life still offers beginnings. So rest in this for a moment. You are here. You are held. You are learning to receive again. And all is well in this breath. And now, my dear, I want to leave you with a very simple practice. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you appreciate. Not in a hurried way, not just, I am grateful for my home, my body, my life, and then close the book. Go a little deeper. Let the heart tell you why. You might write, I am grateful for the warm water I drank this morning because it reminded me that my body deserves care. Or, I am grateful for the quiet moment near the window because, for 1 minute, I remembered that peace is still possible. When you write this way, gratitude becomes more than a list. It becomes a doorway. This little journal is not for creating a perfect life. It is for training the mind to see the good that is already here. The mind has often been trained to find what is wrong very quickly. It can find the missing thing, the mistake, the fear, the unfinished task, the old wound. So now, with love, we train it differently. We say, "Look again, darling. There is good here too." After 7 days, you may notice that your mind begins to find blessings more easily than before. Not because life has no problems, but because your eyes are becoming softer. Say quietly, "I train my mind to notice the good that is already here." And I also want you to write about what you carried, not only the happy things, not only the beautiful things. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what did I carry today? Perhaps you carried worry. Perhaps you carried responsibility, hope, sadness, patience, a hard conversation, or the effort of simply continuing. Then ask, where did I try today? And what in me needs to be acknowledged? And then write one kind sentence. I see what I carried today, and I thank myself for not giving up. This is such a tender practice because you become the loving witness of your own life. You stop being only the judge. You stop looking only for what you failed to do. You begin to see the human being who lived the day. You begin to say, I see you. I know that was not easy. I honor you. And the heart softens under that kind of seeing. I am grateful for the strength I rarely give myself credit for. Now, here is a sweet little habit I love. I call it kiss your brain. You may smile at that. Place your hand gently on your head or touch your forehead with tenderness and say, thank you, my beautiful brain. Thank your brain for learning, remembering, imagining, protecting, solving, creating, and helping you live. If your brain is worried too much, do not hate it. It has been trying to keep you safe. It only needs to be taught again with love. You might say at night, thank you, my brain. You have worked so hard for me. Tonight, we choose peace. Let the mind feel appreciated. Sometimes the mind fights so hard because it is asking to be noticed. When you thank it, it does not have to struggle quite so loudly. It can rest. And now, let us close with a little gratitude meditation. You may close your eyes or simply let your gaze become soft. Breathe in and say within yourself, I receive life. Breathe out and say, I thank life. Again, breathe in, I receive life. Breathe out, I thank life. Thank your eyes for seeing. Thank your neck and shoulders for carrying so much. Thank your heart for continuing to beat. Thank your lungs for bringing in breath. Thank your belly for holding your feelings. Thank your hands for touching, working, creating, helping. Thank your legs and feet for carrying you through the day. Let the body hear kindness from head to toe. Thank the people who have loved you, even imperfectly. Thank the people who taught you difficult lessons, not because the pain was easy, but because you are taking back the wisdom. Thank this room, this breath, this moment, this chance to return to life with a softer heart. Say slowly, I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful for my healing. I am grateful for the love that is already here. I am grateful for the good that is coming. my grateful heart opens the door to miracles. My dear, you do not need to have everything before you can be grateful. Begin with gratitude, and you may discover that life has given you more than pain allowed you to see. Gratitude does not erase every difficulty, but it gives you a gentle place to stand inside the difficulty. It reminds you that you are not empty, you are not abandoned. Life is still offering breath, lessons, love, and new beginnings. All is well. Your heart is softening. Your mind is learning peace. Life is still holding you, and so it is. Hello, my dear. There is one truth I want to say to you very gently today. You do not have to turn healing into another reason to worry. I know how easy it is to do that. You begin wanting to understand yourself, and soon you are analyzing every feeling. You begin wanting to become peaceful, and then you become upset because you are not peaceful yet. You begin reading, listening, journaling, searching, asking, what does this mean? Why am I still triggered? Why am I not healed by now? And before long, healing does not feel like love anymore. It feels like pressure. It feels like another test you are afraid of failing. But darling, you do not have to solve yourself. You are not a problem to be fixed. Sometimes what we call healing is really worry wearing spiritual clothing. We are not resting with ourselves. We are checking ourselves. We are not listening to the heart with tenderness. We are watching it like a judge. Am I healed enough? Am I calm enough? Did I react correctly? Is this still trauma? Is this intuition? Is this a sign? Am I falling behind? The mind can take even a beautiful thing and make it exhausting when fear is in charge. So let us soften this today. Healing is not a race to become a perfect person with no difficult feelings. Healing is the slow return to safety inside yourself. You do not need to control every emotion before you are allowed to be well. You do not need to understand every wound before life can support you. You do not need to clear every old belief in 1 week. There is a deeper intelligence at work in you. Your body knows how to release in layers. Your heart knows when it is ready to soften. Life itself is arranging things in ways you cannot always see. Sometimes the most healing thing you can say is not, I must fix this now, but I am safe enough to be with myself as I am. Worry is very clever. It often disguises itself as responsibility. It says, I am only trying to prepare you. It says, I am being careful. It says, if we think about this long enough, we will finally be safe. But notice what worry does in the body. The shoulders lift, the stomach tightens, the breath becomes shallow, the mind begins moving in circles, not forward. You may think you are searching for an answer, but often you are simply asking the same fear in many different ways. That is the little rat race of the mind. So much movement, but not much peace. Not every uncomfortable feeling is an emergency. This is important. Some feelings simply want to be noticed. A sadness may only need a hand on the heart and a quiet evening. A fear may need one honest breath and a reminder that you are here now. A memory may rise not because you must solve your whole childhood tonight, but because something in you wants tenderness. If every feeling becomes a crisis, the nervous system never learns rest. So we begin saying, I release the need to turn every feeling into an emergency. There is nothing wrong with reflection. Reflection can be wise and beautiful, but analysis becomes painful when it loses love. You can think about yourself so much that you forget to be with yourself. You can study your wounds so closely that you never give the wounded place warmth. Imagine a little child crying, and instead of holding the child, you stand above them with a notebook asking, "Where did this begin? What pattern is this? What does this mean?" There may be a time to understand, yes, but first, the child needs to feel safe. Your inner world is the same. First, love. Then, understanding. The mind can become addicted to worry because worry gives the illusion of doing something. It feels busy. It feels important. It feels like control. But worry is not the same as intuition. Intuition often arrives quietly. It is clear, simple, and grounded. It may say, rest. It may say, wait. It may say, call this person. It may say, this is not right for you. Worry is different. Worry is loud. It repeats itself. It argues. It pressures. It demands an answer immediately and still does not feel satisfied when you try to give it one. When you analyze something that has not happened yet again and again, the body may begin responding as if danger is already here. Your mind is imagining, but your nervous system is experiencing. That is why you may feel tired after worrying, even though nothing has physically happened. The body has been living through every imagined outcome. So when you notice the loop, do not believe it immediately. Do not say, this must be true because it feels intense. Say gently, this is not danger. This is an old pattern asking for my attention. That sentence creates space. It does not shame the worry. It does not fight it. It simply identifies it. Ah, this is a pattern. And once you see a pattern, you are not completely inside it anymore. You become the loving observer. You can place your feet on the floor, feel the room around you, and remind the body, we are here. This is now. The mind may still be talking, but you do not have to climb into every thought and live there. This is why the first solution is not more analysis. It is observation. Analysis tries to control the story. Observation lets you see the story without being swallowed by it. When an anxious thought appears, you do not need to immediately ask, how do I fix this? First ask, what am I noticing in my mind? Maybe you notice a fear of being left. Maybe you notice an old belief that says you are not safe. Maybe you notice the mind trying to protect you by preparing for the worst. Just seeing this clearly is already a shift. Think of a cloud passing through the sky. The cloud is there, but the sky does not become the cloud. A thought is like that. It can pass through your mind without becoming your identity, your destiny, or your command. You can notice it and let it move. You can say, I can notice a thought without becoming the thought. This is a very peaceful practice. It helps you stop treating every thought as an instruction. Try this with me now. Breathe in slowly and say within yourself, I see this thought. Breathe out and say, I let it pass. Again, breathe in. I see this thought. Breathe out. I let it pass. Do not force the mind to become silent. Just become softer than the thought. Let it float. Let it move. Let it be something you are noticing, not something you must become. If the thought says, I am not healing fast enough, you may answer, I see this thought. I let it pass. If the thought says, something is wrong with me, answer, I see this thought. I let it pass. If the thought says, I must solve my whole life right now, answer, I see this thought. I let it pass. There is such quiet power in this. You are no longer wrestling with the mind. You are no longer feeding fear with your whole attention. You are returning to the gentle truth that you are safe enough to pause. My dear, healing is not something you force out of yourself. Healing is something you allow, support, and return to. There will be moments of clarity, and there will be moments of confusion. There will be quiet days and emotional days. None of this means you are failing. You are human. You are learning to stop making yourself an emergency. You are learning to let the universe, life, and the deeper wisdom within you help carry what your worried mind was never meant to carry alone. So today, speak to yourself softly. I do not have to solve myself. I am not a problem to be fixed. I release the need to turn every feeling into an emergency. I can notice a thought without becoming the thought. Let these words become a little resting place inside you. All is well in this moment. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are simply learning to heal without turning healing into fear. Now, my dear, let us speak about something very simple, but very freeing. Not everything that happens in your life is a bad sign. The anxious mind is very quick to take an ordinary moment and turn it into a warning. A message comes a little late, and suddenly the mind says, something is wrong. A plan changes, and the body begins to tighten. Someone looks at you in a different way, and within seconds the mind has written a whole story about rejection. You wake up with low energy, and instead of simply saying, my body needs gentleness today, the mind says, I am falling backward. I am not healing. I am losing myself again. But a moment is only a moment before the mind begins decorating it with fear. This is where we begin to reclaim our freedom. The event is one thing. The meaning we attach to it is another. A late reply is a late reply. A tired day is a tired day. A changed plan is a changed plan. Fear may say, this means I am unwanted. This means something bad is coming. This means I am unsafe. But fear is an interpreter, not a prophet, and it often interprets life through old wounds. So before you believe the first painful meaning your mind gives to a situation, pause gently and say, I let life be what it is before I decide what it means. There is great healing in that sentence. It gives life a little room to breathe. It gives your body a moment to settle before the old story takes over. You do not need to make everything mean something immediately. You do not need to turn every silence into abandonment, every delay into rejection, every low mood into failure, every mistake into proof that you are not growing. Sometimes life is simply moving. Sometimes people are simply busy. Sometimes the body is simply tired. Sometimes the weather inside you is cloudy for no dramatic reason at all. Let a thing be a thing before fear makes it a whole identity. Say softly, I no longer use my fear to explain my life. Let the words land slowly. You are not blaming yourself for having fear. Fear has probably tried to protect you for a long time. Perhaps it learned very early that it had to scan the room, predict moods, notice every shift in tone, and prepare for pain before it arrived. We can thank the fear for trying. We can even place a hand on the heart and say, I know you were trying to keep me safe. But we do not have to let fear write the whole story anymore. There are other voices inside you too. There is wisdom. There is love. There is the quiet part of you that can see more than danger. Peace does not come from controlling every detail of life. Many people wait for peace as if it lives at the end of certainty. When I know the answer, I will relax. When they explain themselves, I will feel safe. When the plan is perfect, I will trust. When I am fully healed, I will love myself. But life is not built that way. There will always be something unfinished, a question without an answer, a feeling without a name, a doorway that has not opened yet, a part of the path that is still dim. If you postpone peace until everything is complete, peace will always be just out of reach. Real peace is more generous than that. It does not ask you to have everything figured out before you are allowed to breathe. Real peace says, can I be kind to myself in the middle of the unknown? It says, can I soften while the answer is still forming? It says, can I be unfinished and still belong to myself? My dear, you can be in process and still be lovable. You can have questions and still be safe. You can have an emotional day and still be healing. You can be learning and still be worthy of tenderness. I can be unfinished and still be at peace. Let that be a new permission. You do not have to become a perfectly healed person to deserve a gentle life. You do not have to be calm all the time to prove that your inner work is real. Some days, healing looks like clarity. Other days, it looks like not being cruel to yourself when you feel confused. Some days, you will know exactly what to do. Other days, the most loving thing will be to drink water, breathe, and not make the day harder by attacking yourself. This is also healing. This is how safety grows. When something happens, the mind often attaches emotion to it very quickly. A small disappointment becomes, I am a failure. A person's distance becomes, I am being abandoned. A difficult conversation becomes, I am not loved. A mistake becomes, I will never be okay. We must learn to gently unhook the event from the identity. This is not about becoming cold or emotionless. Feelings are allowed. Tears are allowed. Tenderness is allowed. But the feeling does not have to become a life sentence. Place your hand over your heart and say to the body, this is only a moment. This is not my whole life. Say it in a very human way. Do not try to sound spiritual. Just be real with yourself. This is hard, but it is not everything. This hurts, but it is not my identity. This moment is asking for care, not panic. When you speak to yourself this way, you begin to separate what happened from who you are. That is a beautiful form of inner freedom. This situation is not my identity. Think of how many times in the past you believed a painful moment meant everything was over. Yet you are here. Life continued. You learned, you changed. Doors opened that you could not imagine at the time. You survived days you thought would break you. So perhaps today's difficulty does not need to become a prophecy. Perhaps it is simply a weather pattern moving through your sky. You are the sky, darling. The weather changes. You remain. And this means you do not need to wait for the outside circumstance to change before you are allowed to feel a little peace. Of course, there are real things to handle in life. We are not pretending otherwise. Bills may need to be paid. Conversations may need to happen. Decisions may need to be made. But even before all of that is solved, you can create a small place of safety inside yourself. A little room in the heart where you say, I am here. I will not abandon myself. I can take the next step when it is time. The mind has habits, just as the body has habits. It can learn to check, analyze, imagine, predict, blame, and rehearse the worst, because at some point this felt like protection. If you have lived with anxiety for a long time, the mind may not feel familiar with calm. Calm may even feel suspicious. So when you begin to worry less, a part of you may ask, but are we being careless? Shouldn't we keep thinking about it? That is the old pathway. It is not evil. It is just worn from use. When you notice yourself entering the loop, stop with kindness. Do not scold the mind. Scolding only creates another layer of fear. Say, I see what is happening. You are checking again. You are trying to predict again. You are imagining the conversation, the outcome, the mistake, the rejection. You are not bad for doing this. You are simply walking an old path, and now, very gently, you may choose another one. Say, this is not happening right now. This is only a story my mind is writing. I can close the book. This send, a thought repeated many times, does not become true simply because it is familiar. This is important. The mind may say the same thing again and again. You are not safe. You will be left. You are behind. Something is wrong. You must fix this now. Repetition can make a thought feel powerful, but repetition is not proof. It only means the mind has practiced that thought. And anything practiced can be gently unpracticed. I am free to choose a new inner path. Imagine the old anxious thought as a path through a field. It is visible because you have walked it many times. But nearby, there is soft grass where a new path can begin. The first time you choose peace, it may feel unnatural. The second time, it may still feel strange. But each time you pause, breathe, and choose a kinder interpretation, you place one foot on the new path. One day, the new path becomes easier to find. You do not have to force it. You only have to return, again and again, with patience. Now let us speak of trusting life. When I say, allow the universe to solve everything, I do not mean you sit in a chair and refuse to participate in your own life. This is not passivity. It is not denial. It is not pretending that choices do not matter. It means you stop trying to solve life through panic. You do your part, yes. You make the call. You write the note. You rest the body. You have the conversation. You take the step that is yours to take. But you release the tight, frightened grip that says, I must control every outcome or I will not be safe. There is a beautiful difference between action and panic. Action has breath in it. Panic has pressure. Action says, this is the next loving step. Panic says, if I do not fix everything right now, something terrible will happen. Action leaves room for guidance. Panic drowns guidance out. So when you are unsure what to do, ask yourself, is there one clear, loving action available to me now? If there is, take it gently. If there is not, perhaps the loving action is to wait, to rest, to let the body settle, to allow more information to come. Say, I do my part with love, and I allow life to do its part in perfect timing. This is not weakness. It is cooperation. You are not losing your power when you relax. You are returning to your right power, the power that comes from alignment, not fear. The power that can hear intuition because the body is not clenched. The power that can recognize an opening because the mind is not screaming at every closed door. Some answers only come when you stop chasing them. Some doors only appear after you stop knocking on the wrong one until your hands hurt. Some clarity only arrives after the nervous system feels safe enough to listen. Life is not ignoring you simply because everything is not visible yet. Much is being arranged beyond your current view. A conversation is forming. A timing is shifting. A lesson is ripening. An opportunity is moving toward you quietly. Let there be mystery without calling it abandonment. To find the flow of life again, begin small. Flow does not usually return through force. It returns through cooperation with the present moment. Look around. What is one thing you can do that brings the body back to now? You might take a deeper breath. You might drink water. You might open a window. You might fold one blanket, clear one corner, step outside for a slow walk, or write one honest sentence on paper. These are small things, but they tell the body, we are not trapped in the mind, we are here. When the body becomes softer, the mind often stops needing to control so much. And when the mind stops gripping, intuition has a place to speak. Intuition rarely shouts over chaos. It comes in through quiet openings. It may feel like a simple next step, a gentle no, a sudden calm around one option, or a little pull toward something healthy. If you are always racing ahead, you may miss this guidance. So slow down, not forever, just enough to hear, I return to the flow of life. I am guided, supported, and safe. Flow does not mean everything goes according to your plan. Sometimes flow changes the plan. Sometimes flow redirects you. Sometimes flow asks you to release what you thought you needed so that something more aligned can reach you. The anxious mind may resist this because it prefers familiar pain to unknown peace. Be gentle with that part of you. Say, we do not have to know the whole river today. We can trust the next bend. Life has carried you through so much already. It is still carrying you now. Now let us make a little practice for the moments when worry begins. Keep it simple. When you notice the mind running, pause and name it. This is worry. That alone can help. You are not saying, this is truth. You are saying, this is worry. Then place a hand on your heart or your belly, wherever the body wants comfort. Breathe in slowly and say, I am here. Breathe out and say, I am safe now. Then remind yourself, this is a thought, not a prophecy. Let that sentence be a door. The thought may still be there, but it is no longer the king of the room. It is only a thought. It may be loud, it may be old, it may be familiar, but it is not a command from the universe. It is not a guarantee of what will happen. It is mental weather. After that, ask gently, what is the smallest loving action I can take right now? Not the biggest solution, not the perfect plan, the smallest loving action. Maybe you need to send one clear message. Maybe you need to eat something. Maybe you need to stop scrolling. Maybe you need to write down the worry and close the notebook. Maybe you need to go to sleep because the mind is trying to solve tomorrow with a tired body. And if there is no action to take, then let it be. Not everything needs to be solved tonight. There is a great softness in learning to leave some things alone. The anxious mind thinks leaving something alone means danger, but often leaving something alone is how wisdom gets room to grow. You do not dig up a seed every hour to see if it is becoming a flower. You water the soil, give it light, and allow hidden things to happen. Healing is like that too. Some wounds heal when we stop checking them every day. Some answers arrive when we stop demanding that they appear. Some doors open when we stop standing in front of the old one crying. So, my dear, do not worry about whether you are healing fast enough. There is no scoreboard in the soul. There is no race where everyone else is ahead and you are behind. You are where you are, and you can meet yourself here with love. The part of you that still worries is not your enemy. It is a frightened part asking for a safer way to live. Bring it close. Speak to it kindly. Say, we do not have to run in circles anymore. Life is helping us. We can breathe now. You may not feel perfectly calm after one practice. That is all right. Calm is learned in little returns. Every time you pause instead of spiraling, you are healing. Every time you notice a thought without becoming it, you are healing. Every time you let life be what it is before fear explains it, you are healing. Every time you take one loving action and release the rest, you are healing. Healing is happening not because you force yourself into perfection, but because you stop fighting yourself so violently. And perhaps this is the gentlest truth of all. Life does not need you to panic in order to help you. The universe is not waiting for you to worry enough before it opens a door. Love does not require you to exhaust yourself before it supports you. You are allowed to participate in your life without carrying it all alone. You are allowed to do your part and let the rest unfold. You are allowed to say, I cannot fix everything with my mind, and I do not need to. If you are ready to release worry and trust the flow of life, write in the comments, I allow life to solve everything with love. Let it be a gentle promise to yourself. Not a promise that you will never worry again, but a promise that worry will no longer be your only way of relating to life. You are learning a new way, a softer way, a wiser way. Now say this with me. I release worry. I trust life. I allow the universe to solve what my mind cannot fix. All is well in my world. Say it slowly enough for the body to hear. I release worry. I trust life. I allow the universe to solve what my mind cannot fix. All is well in my world. Let the breath come back. Let your shoulders drop. Let the jaw soften. You do not have to solve yourself tonight. You are not a problem to be fixed. You are a living soul learning safety. You are allowed to be unfinished and still be loved. You are allowed to have questions and still be guided. You are allowed to rest before the answer arrives. You are safe, my dear. Your healing is unfolding. Life loves you, and so it is.